My name is Kate Negacz, and I work at the Vrije University here in Amsterdam. I'm also co-chair of INSAS, which is International Network of Salt-Affected Soils. And today, I will be talking about challenges, but also opportunities, and this all in the integrated and collaborative approach that we want to take in this water and food systems. So let's have a quick look at the 5 questions that I prepared today to focus on. First, I would like to talk a little bit about what are saline water and food systems. Then, I want to look at where they are located, what challenges do we face, also what opportunities are there, and finally, what is our way forward? Let's see. That moves. Great. So, started from the very beginning. Salinity and salinization, it's an increasingly present topic in press. We can see that it's framed in a different context. It can be related to climate change, food security, food sustainability, but also innovation. And what's interesting, that's how most often it appears in the Dutch context. So, for example, the new innovative crops, new technologies to deal with salinization. There are also opportunities that we're going to further talk about a little bit later. Now, what are saline food and water systems? So when we talk about them, we should start from a division between saline soils and also salty saline water. And as we can see, well, salinization is a common problem, but they have a bit of different causes, and they also lead to different approaches and different solutions. I'm sure that today we'll discuss quite a few different management techniques, interesting approaches, how to deal with both of them. We can also see that this is actually quite an integrated topic. So we have the whole range, wide variety of different actors and stakeholders involved, going from the farmers, breeders, entrepreneurs, policymakers, also impact investors, all working on the integrated topic of salinity, going from the production, consumption, also post-processing of many of the goods and reuse of certain products. We can also see that it should be approached from both practice and science, because right now we need that momentum and collaboration to speed up and upscale the solutions for saline water and food systems. We can also see that it can be approached from different disciplines, ranging from hydrology to policy sciences. And also for the solutions, for the practical solutions that we are looking at, we need a transition from unsustainable and short-term ones to more long-term and sustainable soil and water management practices. Okay, but then what is the impact? What is the impact of salinization? Here we can see a few different examples. So there are different reasons of salinization. There are primary and secondary, human or nature-induced, and I will not go into detail, but just to give you a few examples. We can have a sea seepage, we can have sea level rise, we can have flooding, we can have aerosol, or we can have also different irrigation techniques that lead to increased salinization. All of them can have a negative impact on soil and water. And when we think about it, for example, for the North Sea region, we can think about more often occurring events, extreme events, such as, for example, storm surge or floodings that will further salinize the land. But North Sea region is not the most affected area. When we look at the global salt-affected soils map, very recent one, released just 2 weeks ago at one of the big global symposiums organized by FAO, we can see that most of the areas, they're actually located in Central Asia, also North Africa, in South America, and a little bit in the North America, also in Australia, which is not marked here, but these are definitely hotspots for salinization and current research and practice involving saline solutions, I'd say. If we zoom on into the North Sea region, we can see that there's also a couple of countries working on it, and that we face different challenges here. While a lot of the countries that I've mentioned, the continents and the countries that I've mentioned, they focus on food security, we look more into food sustainability, but also how to balance working on food production in the areas which at the same time have a very high biodiversity value, for example, Wadden Sea area. We can also see that there are a few effects that will occur more often. For example, droughts leading to the sea seepage, or these extreme events that I have just mentioned leading to floodings. But now we have talked a lot about challenges, so let's proceed to the opportunities and how we can actually build on salinization and live with salinity. So my main question would be, what is the potential of food production on salt-affected lands, and especially in the view of the new varieties that are being discovered, and also in terms of the new soil and water management practices? I would say that there is a lot of them, and they come in different ways as well. So we can see them in eco-agrosystems, in new varieties of salt-tolerant crops, in market niches, in new places to invest. Also, well, in farmer participation, so putting all stakeholders together. And you can see that well in the two examples. One is the case study that I believe Bas presented yesterday about, well, the work on salinity in Bangladesh. Another one shows one of the cases in Egypt that maybe we'll hear a little bit more very soon about. But you can see that this participation of different stakeholders is crucial. We can learn from each other, and we can build on that. And that leads to another issue. So, saline agriculture. Saline agriculture can actually help us to, thank you. Maybe that's easier. Thanks. So saline agriculture can help us to address multiple SDGs, ranging from, of course, zero hunger, so helping with agricultural problems, water security, then going also to the climate change, to helping some unprivileged groups such as farmers in the poorest countries, but also women, education. So saline agriculture can help us to address multiple different SDGs. And that leads to my final slide and the way forward and the call for action as well. So what can we do to build on that, to build on what we have? Well, first of all, I would say still look into the salt-tolerant crops. So that's one way to innovate. Then we have management practices, including both soil but also water. Then value chain, and embracing the whole value chain in the food systems. So from the production, going through the processing, to the consumption, and later reuse of certain byproducts or products. Then international networks. So again, cooperation here is very important within the international network of salt-affected soils, but also WASAC taking more water perspective, providing maps, guidelines, databases, building on the knowledge and learning from each other. Then building the regional centers. So again, coming together, for example, here in the Netherlands, knowing who is doing what, exchanging information, expertise, and working together to show that we can contribute to this issue globally. Finally, policies. So also integrating salinity in the existing policies and preparing for what's coming in the future, and making it also an opportunity for the future investments, so that impact investors are also prepared and ready to support this case together with the governments all around the world.